Welcome to your Daily 5 for Wednesday, July 19th, 2023. I've said for a while that I really have no actual excitement for nearly anything coming out of Disney these days, particularly from Star Wars or Marvel. I don't watch much of, in fact, I don't remember what, the last Star Wars thing I watched would be Mandalorian Season 2. Oh, well, I guess technically Book of Boba Fett came after that. So that was the last Star Wars thing I really watched. Visions, I don't count. Visions is so much better, I don't even count it because it's almost an anomaly. But of the mainstream Star Wars stuff that's aimed at general audiences, I watch almost nothing. And, I don't necessarily ignore everything. I don't want to be one of those people who just dismisses everything out of hand and becomes miserable and, grudged against everything there is. Grudged isn't really a phrase, but I'm using it anyway. So when the Ahsoka trailers came out, as background, I barely watched any of Rebels. I started, I never finished it. I don't know anything about the character. I really don't need to. She's got lightsabers. I get that she's the protagonist, and I can read a Wikipedia entry if I really need to know her backstory. But the thing that drew me in, my interest, was Thrawn, because Thrawn, from what I read, was done well in the animated series, and I liked the books with Thrawn. I liked the character. So the linchpin of any interest I have in the Ahsoka series is how is Thrawn handled? I mean, don't get me wrong, if other characters are good too, great, but Thrawn is the one that, for me, the series succeeds or fails on. If that character is done well, I really won't care what else is happening. If he's done poorly, then I don't care how well everything else is done. I mean, it's just what it is for me. That's the character I have investment in. So I watched the newest trailer. I saw Thrawn. Thrawn looks good, sounds good. I'm like, okay, this all seems like, it has potential, but I kept my expectation meter was set dead center of medium. And that's where it was until I read some comments recently by one of the voice actors from Rebels. And she basically said, she used words that make it sound like it's pretty important that you've seen Rebels to fully enjoy Ahsoka. And as soon as I read that, I went, here we go again. This lesson that was not learned from way back when the Matrix movies came out is now once again being demonstrated as a bad idea. The interconnected transmedia connectiveness, where if you haven't seen every single thing in orbit around the thing you're watching, you're going to miss out on something. Now, I don't know if those comments are overblown. Maybe it won't actually be all that crucial. Maybe it's just a marketing thing to get people to keep their Disney Plus subscriptions and binge something so that they can hold out until the new series comes out. I don't know. But if it is in fact the case that Ahsoka relies heavily on you having seen the Rebels series, I mean, now I'm not even going to bother watching it when it comes on. I'll wait till it's been on for a while and I'll see what the reviews say. I was going to just go ahead and watch a couple episodes from the beginning and see what I thought, but why bother? Because if I'm going to miss out on things, then why am I going to watch this thing? It is so stupid to me that anybody thinks, and I don't know whose idea this was. This may have been a high-level executive idea. I don't know if this was showrunners, whoever. But this thing, and it's not just this series. Again, it's been going on for a long time because you can go all the way back to the Matrix for the biggest high-profile example of why it was a bad idea. Although the Matrix movies, I never really felt like the Animatrix and the video game were that crucial. It didn't really matter. I mean, yes, you missed out on why certain characters were there and what their backstories were, but it was not that big a deal. And maybe this won't be either. But this concept that if you've missed one, I mean, Marvel's doing it all over the place. Everything has to relate to everything else. And there is no standalone anything in terms of storytelling now, or there's nearly none. And it just makes me instantly not want to watch something. Because I feel like if your story can't stand on its own, if it can't work itself, then I'm not going to bother with it. It's not a good story then. Your story shouldn't start off relying on another person's story. I'm sorry, but it should, at least not like this. You can allude to things. There can be Easter eggs. Sure, that's fun stuff. I don't mind that kind of thing. We know the difference in what I'm talking about here. Yeah, there's one thing where you have a character walk in the background, you go, oh, I recognize that character, to another thing where if somebody shows up and you don't know who they are, you don't know why they are vitally important to this major episode in the series, and now I have to go and I have to look this up and stop the episode. No, forget it. It's so far past pointless for me to even engage with material like that. So I'll wait. I'll see what the reviews look like, and I'll see if this comment actually bears out. If it does, then I'm not going to bother watching this. But even as is, it just takes a already mediocre level of excitement and drops it further, which I doubt is what they wanted. Later.